first things first, then how do you sum this game up?
Lack of confidence, lack of seeing yourself the way you should see yourself. In some respects, but we also showed up this morning with not a very good mindset in our shoot around. I thought we took it a little bit too lightly, and I think Dave, up to this point, it's not like they've had an unbelievable year, but he's done a good job of keeping his kids together, even when they have their leading scorer hurt, and he's done a good job of keeping them fighting and in the game, and we haven't, and so that's a question for me is how can we keep our kids, as I look at that, I look at his team and you can see they still have the fight, and I look at our team and we don't, and so as a staff, how do we get that back?
You feel like that's been, and that you just touched on it, has that been the biggest problem you've been trying to solve, is getting this team to be able to fight through adversity sometimes?
Some of it, yeah. I mean, we haven't done that very well, and then so when you haven't done that very well, now we're to the point where when it starts to happen, then it's just here we go again, and we got off to a decent start last game. We didn't this game. But I think just our lack of good offensive play really impacted our defense. And I've seen that before with teams. I mean, we just struggled offensively. They weren't even guarding us. And we don't have enough guys with enough confidence just to jump up and shoot the ball. And 6 for 31, you're not beating anybody. Just aren't.
And how much of that too, like you mentioned, is when you miss shots and it seems like the goal gets a little bit smaller. How much more difficult does it become to try to play through that mentally?
I mean, it's not easy. When people aren't guarding you, that can mess with your head. It just can, and you got to have enough to you to not let that affect you. And we're just not to that point. I wish we were. It's we can sit and answer questions all day. The question is never, in my opinion, never why. Like, why is this happening? Why? Because to me, those are feel sorry for yourself questions. The question is what? What can I do? What can we do? For a player, if you're not playing well, not shooting well, so why? Why is this? No, the question is, what do I need to do to help the team? What can I do, Coach? What? Not why. So that's what's got to change for us.
Now, how important is it they and everybody else maybe try to find the solutions in time for Sunday in terms of, like you said, what and how?
I mean, I think there's probably bigger issues here than just finding a solution by Sunday. And some of it you change in recruiting. Some of it it isn't like you just throw these guys out and go get other players. And no, because we love these kids and they're trying to figure it out. They're highly frustrated. And yet, on top of some of that frustration, we're still seeing some of the little things that we've asked them to change that just aren't changing. And so then that kind of stuff shows up in games. And that's where we've got to gain their confidence to get them to listen to us and just do it.
Kind of a habit type issue then?
I liken it to this. People always think that, if I ask you, do you care? You say, well, yeah, I care. And then I go, well, wait a minute. You didn't do this, and you didn't do this, so how can you say you care? We just have, we have to be able to define ourselves by what we're doing, not how we feel. We've got to get over how we feel. Like, yes, I feel like I'm a good teammate. You feel like you're a good teammate? How come you didn't do this? You didn't help your teammate. But people feel differently about themselves instead of taking a good look at themselves and going, am I actually doing the things it takes to be that? Like, do I want to win? If I ask guys, do you want to win? Everybody raise their hand. Okay, well, have you spent time doing this? Are you watching film? Are you in the gym late? Because, we're one of those teams that don't practice for 3 hours, so I give you oh, no, I'm not doing it. Well, then don't tell me you want to win. You don't get to you don't get to feel one way, yet not do the things that it takes to do that.
And defensively, they shoot 48%. A couple guys, like you mentioned, go off. Where you know what how do you see with these issues?
Well, some of it is offense. Our offense
Right.
is not very good. It puts a lot of pressure on our defense, one, and it drains kids after a while. It just wears people out when they can't put the ball in the basket, and they just get frustrated, and then it starts affecting the defensive end. No matter how much you ask them to not let it, it starts to. And so, you know, we're just not very good offensively. We're struggling on that end, and we're not very consistent offensively. We'll have good offensive games, and then we'll just completely disappear. And so, but really bad offense like we had today affects your defense.